Please, Akshat, carry on.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Baba sir.
Before we begin today's conference, I would like to inform you that we have been witnessing some sort of a disturbance owing to some unwanted elements in our Zoom webinars since the last couple of weeks. Sometimes it's slightly difficult to trace them, and therefore we have decided to restrict the attendee number to boardroom meeting number of 20. We value the dignity and sensitivity of our speakers and our audiences, and this is why, despite of all the challenges, we have been consistent in our format because the show must go on. After the program, if anybody wishes to see the live session, you can watch it on our YouTube, where we have uploaded the recorded videos for our viewers. In the field of PR, there are several entrepreneurs making their mark right from India to the US, Europe, and Australia. Essentially, entrepreneurship is risky business, and in PR, it's no different. Good morning and welcome to another episode of PR Society Delhi's Gen Next Ideas Exchange series. Today's topic is the role of PR management in entrepreneurship. And I would like to introduce today's speakers. The first speaker for the session is Garima Sharma Nijhavan. She is a well-rounded award-winning communications professional with a decade of experience in integrated communications. She is a PhD scholar and assistant professor at Delhi University. She is a 40 under 40 in PR and communications. Second speaker for the day is Asavri Bharadwaj. Asavri is a topper from the prestigious Lady Shriram College of Women and the Indian Institute of Mass Communication. She is the founder and creative director at Pinkwheel Private Limited, a 30 under 30 moments title holder. She is a multitasker, singer, dancer, influencer, and a guitarist. Both Garima and Asal are young female entrepreneurs in the PR and advertising industry. In the experts panel, we have Mr. Sarvesh Tiwari, who's the founder and MD of PR Professional, Edu Professionals, Confianza Multi-Projects Private Limited. On the social front, he is the General Secretary of the Nirbhaya Jyoti Trust. He's the president of Rise Always Welfare Society, advisor at the Kalam Foundation, and managing trustee at M3 Foundation. Mr. Sarvesh has received various awards, 4 international awards in Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, and Bahrain from cabinet ministers of respective countries. He's also a TV panelist and columnist in leading newspaper. So we welcome you, sir. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So without wasting any further time, I would like to begin with Garima. My first question is to Garima. So Garima, since you have honed your skills like corporate writing, media relations, strategic planning, client servicing, and you have also briefly worked with a policy think tank on advocacy and public affairs. So what do you feel? Where does the PR fit in the larger marketing mix?
Thank you so much, Shubham, for that introduction and this great forum. I feel I'm very fortunate to start my Sunday morning with this great company around me. And sharing ideas and learnings is always a delight because that's how one grows in life. To your question on where does PR fit in the larger scheme of works, essentially, I've been in the field of PR now for close to a decade and a half, and it's evolved extremely over a period of time. Even till date, we are really, as a PR professional, fighting to find our place in the larger marketing mix because essentially, the investment in the function is much limited in comparison to the other ATL, BTL activities that any startup or an entrepreneur does. Versus the ROI that one gets might not always be immediately tangible. And therefore, this becomes a fairly complex space for somebody to really comprehend, understand, and find value in. Like we were discussing earlier also, when you start up a journey or when you're an entrepreneur, you're very conscious of the financial ability and the capital fund that you have in hand, and therefore you want to invest it in the right kind of spaces where very clearly you know that if I'm investing 1 rupee here, what is the value that I'm getting out of it? And not always will PR give you an immediate return there. And therefore, one needs to understand that it's a function of reputation building, brand building, image building, rather than sales and marketing per se. And if that basic is clear in your head, then you can capitalize on it in a much more nuanced, in a much more valuable fashion. Also because today is Women's Day, and we've would like to bring that flavor in. Both Asavri and I, have been functioning in this space. And although one should always look at profession in a gender neutral sense, but practicality and reality might always not be, what it is in the written word. Fortunate for us, this is one of those fields which is actually led by women all over. Heads of so many agencies, of so many creative agencies, PR agencies, marketing firms are women. And I would like to take pride in it. And somewhere, on the cost of assuming, right, that women can nurture and handle relationships and multitask relatively a little better, right? And maybe that's one of the reasons why they are put in the front in a profession like this. It's great to, it's a compliment, and generally when there are men around, it's a very complimentary sort of a relationship, because you're not fighting for space here. You're fitting like pegs of a puzzle and really complementing each other's energy and taking that forum forward. So I hope I've answered that question in some sense, that yes, PR is central. Yes, it's an important function. Having said that, there are certain guardrails that you need to be aware of. It's not a function of sales and immediate returns. It's a function of reputation building, brand building. And if it's done authentically, if it flows top down, because this is one of those functions that can't be delegated to somebody. Okay? De diya, कि ab जाओ मेरा PR कर दो. Because public relations is very closely intertwined with the person that you're functioning with. If there's an entrepreneur who's starting a firm, then clearly he or she needs to invest in the function personally and take it ahead as their own baby. While there are certain other functions which can be hyped off and delegated and can be managed by the team, PR is one of those functions that definitely needs investment from the top management day in and day out. So I think that's it from my end in terms of what I feel about the function and the role of it.
Right. I would like to bring in Asavri here. Asavri, women-led startups have always struggled for money, and COVID made it worse. So since you started your business in COVID time, what is your take on it? What just Garima said? Like, do you agree with it or you disagree? What are your views on it?
Okay. First of all, thanks, Shubham, for the really elaborate introduction. Thank you for having us. And I also want to add that, Garima, I absolutely agree with each and every word that you just said before. As far as struggles go, I started my startup almost like 2 years ago. And we started with the Wonk, which was our digital magazine during COVID time. Now, me and my sister, we're both creative people. My sister's a graphic designer, and she and I, we started off Pink Quill. We were like, okay, we will, I'm going to handle the content bit of things and, client servicing, and my sister would start with the, graphic design. Sooner or later, we had a lot of clients and we wanted to do something even bigger and build the team, and the Wonk happened. Now, as far as struggles go, COVID in itself was a struggle for the entire world. Everyone was jujoing literally, मतलब समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है कि हो क्या रहा है. And उसमें you have to get your trademark registered. उसी में तुम्हारे को company register करनी है. उसी में you have to figure out all the paperwork. The legal guy will tell you कि boss आज हम office में नहीं है. Finance वाला बंदा तुम्हारा CA अपने हाथ खड़े कर देगा कि भाई ये नहीं हो पा रहा है. अब नहीं हो सकता, कोविड के चलते सारे ऑफिसेस बंद हैं. There was way too much struggle during that time, and starting a business during this time is, I feel it was really difficult for me. And I mean, I know a couple of people who've also started their business during the same time, and वो भी यही बोलते हैं कि बहुत difficult था भाई ये पूरा एक साल निकालना. सबसे toughest चीज was that recruiting people during this time virtually is difficult, because you don't understand the person. You're not able to understand the person through the screen. You don't know what the other person's really meaning when they say something, to you. But, let's say if you're sitting with someone face to face, you would understand ki theek hai, uska body language hai aisa ya whatever. Recruiting was difficult. Also, everything is not virtually present in our country. Like, we do talk about things being available virtually, but you have to make your own hacks around things, like if there is a particular, document that needs to be sent to the CA, the guy will not look for a scanned copy. The guy will want a, hard copy. वो courier कराओ, 10 चीजें कराओ, सब चीजें virtual है ही नहीं. Worst thing was bonding the team during this time. How will you bond the team when you're not really sitting together over a cup of coffee, or you're just like you're not able to understand the person ki theek hai uske ghar mein kya chal raha hai, uski mother is not well, or the father is not very welcoming of the idea of a startup, and things like that. So it's really difficult to manage a team during that time, but touch wood, we did get through that difficult phase, and it was quite a blessing in disguise, because the team that I built now are the ones who will stick through. And like, it was the most difficult phase, and the kids have stuck on, and I'm just very proud of them today.
Yes, we all have sailed through COVID, and you have done a fabulous job. Coming back to Garima, most business executives dub PR as free advertising, whereas it is neither advertising nor it is free. In fact, PR can be very costly depending on how it is used, because it's time consuming, it is labor intensive. So do you think PR gives you the best return?
So Shubham, like I said, you need to be very clear about the objective that you're starting off with, right? What exactly do you want to achieve out of PR needs to be something that you answer as the first step before even getting into the function per se, before even considering, do you want to do PR or do you want to do something else? Now, like you said, in terms of money or investment per se, now public relations might not be a function that requires a lot of capital investment, essentially because there are different kind of media, right? There's earned, there's owned, there's social, there's digital, and PR happens to fall in a space where it is earned media. Whenever there's earned media, you're not paying for that space. So if there is a Times of India front page story, which is like a 3-column story, you go and try and get that ad, maybe you'll have to spend lakhs, versus when you try and get that space from an earned lens, trying to create a news that will be relevant to the consumers, there's no penny spent there. But what you're spending there is your time, your effort, connection with the journalist, understanding the nuances. Like Asavri said, the Wonk team studies so much data, interprets so much, and filters it down to really understand where they're striking a chord with the audiences, right? So that's the effort that goes in. So that's time, that's labor, that's a lot of headspace, and that's headspace not from an executive level or a junior level resource. It flows top down. So say, for example, if Asavri has 12 hours in a day to invest in her work, and she's investing 1.5, 2 hours in public relations, versus like all the other jobs that she's talking about. She has to build a team, she's to address clients, she's to get her paperwork done, she's to get her legal stuff done. Now, in that pie, how much does she want to dedicate to PR is the investment that you make. And therefore, we say that it can be costly from a time and effort perspective. Having said that, maybe this is not applicable to very young entrepreneurs, but bigger teams, larger brands. There are brands that only survive on PR. For example, I've worked for brands in the past which only, so brands like Body Shop, or brands like Oriflame, or brands like Tupperware, or brands like TripAdvisor, they only survive on PR. So TripAdvisor is a brand, because it's a crowdsourcing sort of a brand, does not invest in any sort of ATL, BTL at all. It's a global case study. This brand does exist only on public relations, right? Because there is no physical space where it really exists. So these are things that one needs to be considerate of. objective, and this is not only true for public relations. We are all creative people. We also do advertising. We also do integrated marketing communications. Now we are CI is recognizing influencer marketing as a formal, organized space and trying to streamline that, right? A lot of us must be struggling with that space also, because it's an art and a science that's still evolving and stuff. It even applies there. What is it that you want out of it? How is it that you're walking towards it? If your objective is clear, if your path is clear, if you're ready and if you're nimble enough to maneuver it on the way and try and bring in the changes that are required through the way, you'll get your way through. But yeah, something that I truly believe in, that there isn't anything better than earned media to build a brand, to build a reputation. Another place where this reputation comes hugely in and comes in and saves you is crisis management. If you've invested enough in the right kind of relationships, in the right kind of reputation building effort, then if you're stuck with a crisis, there will be so many more evangelists who will come and save you, instead of you going out there and tom-tomming about the fact that nahi ji hamara to dil saaf hai and stuff. So for example, I've worked very extensively in the healthcare sector, and I'm right now, even my PhD thesis is on crisis management in healthcare, because there is so much trust deficit. And COVID has actually achanak se, woken up all of us. So building that trust again for a brand or an individual or a clinician or a marketing person in a hospital setup or any other setup is ultimately a function of building the right kind of reputation for yourself, which will happen through public relations as one of the key modalities, not be all and end all of everything, but definitely one of the major functions.
Yes, trust is a very important factor. We get that. So Asavri, we have a lot of, young students also registering for today's session from Delhi School of Journalism and other management colleges. What are the challenges faced by an entrepreneur, do you think? Or what are the, opportunities and challenges faced by an entrepreneur per se? What do you feel?
Okay. I have a list, but I'm not going to, just talk about everything. Overarchingly, there are 4 main challenges. सबसे बड़ा challenge एक entrepreneur का यही होता है कि हर चीज manage करना impossible होता है. You cannot manage everything. It is impossible. You are not God, and you have to accept it. That from managing legal, from managing finance, from managing admin, HR issues, kabhi koi bimar pad raha hai, kisi ko, somebody needs a different kind of a, official letter, NOC draft karo, reports draft karo, research draft karo, featured writing karo, content build karo, social media calendar karo, digital dekho kisi client ka, client ki suno, client servicing karo, then trickle down whatever the client is telling to the last person in the room. It is difficult. It is a difficult process. And at the same time, if you're a woman, and I don't know, Garima, if you'll agree with this, when you have to manage a house, you have to manage your work, you have to manage multiple egos at the same time, your own office ke bacche, khud ke bacche, your families, and then there are people coming in for dinners also. It is a task, and it is a thankless.
Tell me about it. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I tell everybody. So I got married at 23. So I was like, I want everything. I want everything in life. I want my marriage. I want my husband. I want my kids. I want my career. I'm not going to adjust on anything. And actually that takes a lot of toll on your mental health.
It really does.
Immensely. And we do it with a lot of pride in our heart. Having said that, if somebody tells me that, oh, it's quite easy, it's manageable, definitely the person is lying, or they have very good help around.
And especially during COVID time, all the helps were not available. So you were doing like everything from mopping to doing client servicing. Everything was done by yours truly. And I'm sure that was the case with you also. It was a task. So that is the biggest challenge, number one. Number two is everyone will tell you, sab bolenge ki you are not good enough. Your idea is not good enough. Your concept is not good enough. You'll walk into the investor's office and the guy is going to be like, no, you're not good enough. This is not a money worthy kind of an idea. Maybe you should rethink. Maybe you need to taper it down. It's too aggressive for the industry right now. It's too futuristic. It's difficult. There are times when you'll come back home and you'll be like literally stuffing your face into the pillow and crying, and you'll be like, no, I cannot do this anymore. But it's just a day. You have to move on. You just have to. And then, which takes me to the next point, that if you're way ahead of your time, agar tumhara idea bahut futuristic hai na, there will be very few takers in the market. तो ये चीज accept करनी, पहले ही accept अगर कोई कर लेना, तो वो challenge नहीं रहता है. It won't be like an obstacle to you. You can take it on as a opportunity and take things on, So that was a very huge learning for me, because predictive listening, the service that we are providing, is not something that anyone in the industry right now is even focusing on, but it's a very futuristic concept, that we will be able to predict a trend on social media. We will be able to predict a trend in the industry, and we'll be able to help you make your communication for that day. So just in case we do see that there is going to be a roadblock for our client, we tell them at least 2 weeks in advance that boss ye hone wala hai. Things like that. And also, if you're a woman and you have come up into the industry with something that is futuristic, jo bahut hi matlab not conventional cheez hai, you will rattle some feathers. And they will be rattled for all the good or bad reasons, but they will be, and you just have to accept it. So I just took it to my stride and I took it on, and here we are, three years into functioning. We're doing well for ourselves. It's a small team and we're happy.
Asav, ऐसा बोला जाता है कि as an entrepreneur, you have to be an opportunist, you have to be a specialist, and you have to be an innovator also at the same time. So what motivates you to generate ideas? Describe your typical day, like how your day is, like your typical day is like.
Okay, so I'm not going to faff or anything, but if you wake up early, trust me, your days are well planned. Like, you get so much time on your plate to think. Just think to yourself and journalize. So I actually met this person who happens to be a person who's a life coach. So she suggested that if you want to do something, because I was really hassled in the initial few months of me functioning and almost trying to have everything under my control. She said that if you really want to have control over things, maybe you need to start making a checklist for yourself every day. What are the things that you really want to do? So wake up early and journalize. And trust me, I started doing that. इतना अच्छा लगता है ना, क्योंकि तुम्हें genuinely लगता है कि भाई साहब सब कुछ मेरे कंट्रोल में है, मेरे को सिर्फ इतनी चीजें करनी है और वो मैं आज कर सकती हूँ. Like I can finish this also, I can finish this also, and you plan your day very well. And as it is, अगर आप जल्दी उठते हो तो आपको वैसे भी दिन में टाइम ज्यादा लगता है, that बहुत सारा टाइम है, and you can plan out your day very well. When you start journalizing and when you start writing what you think and what you feel, you automatically start affirming. It's on a very spiritual level, but I know this might not be very relevant right now. I don't know if you can take it as a relevant thing, but
no, I think it's one of the most relevant things, Savri, because what you write actually, you're actually manifesting that
really
yourself. So
it really does. You start affirming every day 10 things that this is what I'm going to be doing, and you do it. You will do it. And what that does is that gives you more mind space for ideas then, because then you have saved up on the time of getting hassled. मतलब जिस टाइम में तुम hassled होगे कि भाई साहब ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, ये भी करना है, वो भी करना है, Instead, you will have a more organized approach to your day, and you will have more time for ideation. And I have seen it in the year that has gone by. It was brilliant. I've come up with some of the best ideas for my clients, and they have really appreciated it. So it's a tried and tested formula that you guys can try. Also, I have seen that if you're around living creatures like plants, and I know these are very tactical things, but ये बहुत काम करते हैं, बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजें हैं, but ये genuinely काम करती हैं. तुमको ideas अपने आप आते हैं. Like I just go into my balcony and I just stand in the morning and observe people, what they're doing, and immediately it will strike, if I have to pitch in something for a shoe client, a client who is a manufacturer of shoes, I exactly know how to do it, because I've seen old people walk in shoes and what are the troubles that those guys are having. It's because I've observed that. So it's important to take time out for observation for yourself and the world around you.
So Garima, small businesses benefit from PR in terms of their relationship with customers, employees, investors, and suppliers. What is PR like for small businesses? If you can throw some light on it.
So Saurabh, I think what's happened over a period of time and what happens when you are day in and day out working in the field of PR is that when we studied PR, right, when we academically look at PR, it's about stakeholder management. And there are different groups of stakeholders, right? Internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, policy stakeholders, media stakeholders, and stuff like that. And ultimately, when you work in an agency life, it somewhere gets reduced just to media. Whereas it's not, right? Like Asavri said that she's working with her internal audiences, right? Trying to figure out what buttons to push and plug to make sure that the team is working optimally. That's internal communication. So internal communications is as important in a startup, and in fact, even more important because right now you're building a team. And because it's a small, agile team, it's even more important for you to get your relationship and get your basics with that team right. So the role that PR can really play, one of the major functions of PR essentially is streamlining the messaging house for any firm. And this can evolve over a period of time, but your larger vision, mission, what is it that you want to drill down to, like we are talking about personal affirmations or personal targets, personal goals. Similarly, when we look at a brand, it's pretty much similar. It's a living, breathing, walking around brand. A brand has a personality of its own. A startup has a personality of its own. What is it that that brand stands for? What's my story that I want to tell? What's the shade of the story that I'll tell to myself, to my people? What is the shade of the story that I'll project in front of the client versus media versus policymakers? Because why are we called spin doctors? Because at the end of the day, it's about projecting something that's going to strike a chord with the right kind of stakeholders, and you will be able to derive the kind of reactions that you want from that particular audience set. So say, for example, now you can't have everybody fall in love with you, right? You will always, like Asavri just said, if you're a young entrepreneur and a female entrepreneur, you're going to ruffle some feathers. For good or for bad, that's a reality that you need to accept. Now, that's at a personal level, that what is the founder going to face when they are out in the market. Now, similarly for the brand, for that matter, if you are working on an idea that's futuristic, if you're working on an idea that's not been tried, tested, accepted, there's a beauty of its own that it will evolve into something that might be a hit, that might be a miss. There will be days when it's going to be fantastic and you're going to sleep really peacefully because you would have been able to achieve that everything that you'd set out to be. And then there will be gloomy nights full of anxiety and depression and unfortunate thoughts. But the good thing is that if the sun sets, it rises again. And like I've been repeating myself again and again, public relations as a function is something that you need to be passionate about. You need to be sure of the story that you want to tell. Definitely the shades of the story can change, the characters of this story can change, but the core needs to be something that when you embark on a journey and a brand is born, the first thing is that you need to be sure of who am I, what do I mean to the world, what am I going to achieve in the short term and in the long term, and therefore what different functions are going to do for me. You need to be very clear कि मुझे influencer space में ये चाहिए, मुझे media space में ये चाहिए, मुझे ATL BTL से ये चाहिए, मुझे अपने network से ये चाहिए. So say for example, if me and Asavri are sitting here and discussing this conversation today, somewhere this forum rubs on to my personal brand as Garima, and somewhere I rub on to what's happening in this space. So everything is an exchange of ideas and narration and the story, and if done properly, then public relations can have a huge impact on an entrepreneurial journey, especially in the initial few years. For that matter, say for example, I worked with brands like Practo. Now it was actually the first health tech startup ever. We had to battle policies because technology is always 2 steps ahead of the policies that are drafted around. Right? So say, for example, today, the term that Asavri has coined for the wonk, or, the insightful evaluation, sentiment analysis and predictive analysis that she's doing, there will be so many roadblocks because people don't even understand what this means. And half the time you're concept selling. And again, public relations very strongly can help you in establishing that concept and building the need for it. So behavior change conversation, behavior change communication is a science in itself, which can very strongly come into play when you're building a concept for a particular brand. So yeah, that's.
So how can an entrepreneur calculate the investment, the expense, and the return, and even your salary? I mean, if you can tell us that, how an entrepreneur can calculate.
See, I will not be the right person to comment on the financial commercial part of it. Like I said, it's about 12 hours that you have in a day, right? You have 5 different functions. It's a simple maths, right? मुझे legal के लिए कितना time लगाना है, मुझे administration पे कितना time लगाना है, मुझे HR function में कितना time लगाना है, client servicing, because ultimately client is the one who butters your bread. So it has to be a priority, because unless the money flows in, how are you going to invest in different functions? But definitely it's like the simple math, 20%, 30% you should always keep aside for your own growth, for your brand's growth. Now, out of that 20% that you've set aside, it's a very personal decision, I would say. And it also depends on the sector in which you are, right? There are sectors that do not need that kind of effort in terms of reputation building. It is more of a sales function, manufacturing function. वहाँ उतनी जरूरत ही नहीं है. जहाँ जरूर, so like I said, जहाँ trust build करना है, जहाँ relationships build करने हैं, जहाँ कुछ nurture करना है, cultivate करना है, क्योंकि उससे आगे आपकी image पे बहुत फर्क पड़ेगा, और कोई आपके पास आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, आप पे कितना विश्वास है. So services generally need to invest more in public relations, if I have to make a comparison, if I'm asked to make a comparison, versus product PR is any day relatively more doable with other functions as well. So I'm sure Asavri can share a point of view on this one.
So I agree with what Garima is saying. You can't really quantify anything, that what is right or what is wrong. But the only way you can really measure or understand if you're doing, or if you're making your ends meet from both a conceptual standpoint to your tactical standpoint in your startup, is if your client likes your work, and if your client is sticking with you, you're winning the game. It's basically how we do in PR. Like in the 7 years of me being in the PR industry, I was also in an agency. I was on the agency side, and I realized that if your client likes you, if your client is speaking to you like a friend and is asking for advice like a friend, and is sticking by what you have said to them, and is understanding your standpoint of you advising something which is better for their brand, when you have gained that relationship with your client, you have really won the game. So then it's not about the finances, it's not about anything else. You will have the client, you will have that business for sure.
And what about the customer? Is the customer always right? And when do you start a global venture? Like since it's a talk on entrepreneurship, suppose somebody needs to do a global venture. So when do you start it?
Okay, Garima, you want to go in for this?
Basically, so there are two questions in this. That is customer the king really? And secondly, when does one go global, right? So answering the first question, see, it's easier said than done. That is the customer the king always, right? Because there will be times, and because we're talking about a lot of innovation, because we're talking about a lot of futuristic sort of a requirement, there are times that customers do not even know that they need it. Now,
Yeah.
for example, I'll give you a very simple example. There was a time that I was working with Snapdeal and FreeCharge. Now, FreeCharge is something, it's a payment wallet, right? For the longest, our parents and their parents were used to standing in electricity bill का line कि अच्छा जी electricity bill भरना है तो Saturday का मेरा आधा दिन तो वहां line में खड़े होके पैसे देकर जाकर आधा दिन लगाकर आने का रहेगा. किसी भी सरकारी ऑफिस में जब आप जाते थे जनरली आपको उस तरीके का एक लाइफ साइकिल फुलफिल कर अपना एक वो काम कराना होता था. When the digital wallets came into play, now did the customer even know that I need it? Did the customer ever even know कि ये मेरी life इतनी simple हो सकती है? And that's where I'm talking about the behavior change communication. कि जिस चीज में आपका आधा दिन लग जाता था, उस चीज को आपने फटाफट 5 मिनट के अंदर कर लिया. And एक बार अगर आपको वो convenience की आदत पड़ गई, तो you can't step back. So from a communication lens or from a startup lens, any lens, yes, the customer reaction makes a huge difference, because if the customer is not buying what you're selling, then how do you survive? Because ultimately it's a for-profit sustainability conversation. Having said that, there can be times when the customer themselves do not know what they're in for. Do they need it? Do they not need it? And my take there would be a little complex than to just say a yes or a no. In some situations, yes. In some situations, maybe we can bring a valuable offering to the table, which, so for example, what the Wonk is doing today is something that the industry does not even know that they need, and they can have predictive analysis of आज मेरे पास इतना इंसाइट है कि मुझे अगले हफ्ते क्या प्लान करना है, इतना डायनामिकली कौन सोच रहा है. वी आर स्टिल सिटिंग इन एजेंसीज एंड मेकिंग पूरे साल का प्लान, एंड वो दैट एंटायर प्लान गोज फॉर अ ड्रेन व्हेन देयर इज अ COVID hitting you, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
life is changing at a very fast pace. That's answer to the first question. To your question, that when does one go global? Now, again, I've been on the agency side, and I've been, working with with multiple set of clients. And again, not an easy yes or no answer, or stage A, B, C, D, E answer. Very subjective on which sector are you operating in, what kind of clients are you operating in, where is the market ripe enough for your idea to step in. So interestingly, what's happened over a period of time is, thanks to virtuality, thanks to digitization, hub and spoke models are working very, very well. For smaller startups, आपको वहां जाकर उस देश के nuances के हिसाब से function करके, register करके, एक बंदा बिठा के काम करने की जरूरत नहीं रही anymore. You can do things virtually. And if we are talking about community, so for that matter, I work for an agency that's present in over 30 countries. And we work absolutely seamlessly thanks to various different digital solutions that we have at hand. For an entrepreneur, I think you should always bite as much as you can chew easily, effectively, and get the kind of results that you want. So it's a very personal call as to when do you want to go global. But thankfully, in today's day and age, it's not really a challenge of physically setting up anything, and things are becoming much, much easier. It's about how big your dreams are. So and it's also about where the market is. And yeah, over to you, Asavri. You being an entrepreneur can answer this one better.
The reason why I actually wanted Garima to answer this first is because she would give like a theoretical backing to almost everything that I wanted to say. So I'm going to club an answer for both these questions. When we say, is the client always right? I think it fits in very differently when you're giving a service versus when you're giving a product.
Yeah.
And you can't really gauge the response of your client or your customer when you're giving a service, क्योंकि उसको वो सर्विस शायद जिस तरीके से आप प्रोवाइड कर रहे हो वो पसंद आए या ना आए is purely that client's mindset. प्रोडक्ट में प्रोडक्ट का एक रेसिपी है, प्रोडक्ट का एक तरीका है, और वो प्रोडक्ट वो क्लाइंट जानता है थैंक्स टू एडवर्टाइजिंग, उसके बारे में वो सब कुछ जानता है. As far as service is concerned, the same thing fits in well for our second question, wherein we are saying that can we go global or not? In the past, I had actually gone to Australia to service a client, which was a winery in South Australia, and I got to have a lot of wine. That is for sure. I could not have possibly serviced that client from India. I had to move my base to Australia for 3 months. And what I realized was that the way a local would understand South Australia or Australia was absolutely different from what, let's say, I understood. We might be great at what we do, but we cannot put that same stencil there. It doesn't fit in there. Like, you can't always fit in. And that was a difficulty, which is why for us to go global, product wise शायद आसान हो, क्योंकि आप कहीं और के प्रोडक्ट्स आप ग्लोबली अपने प्रोडक्ट्स बेच सकते हो. But whereas it comes to services, especially like PR or giving like any kind of service in particular, it is difficult for you to always understand the geographical analysis. वो local लोग क्या चाहते हैं, वो सब चीजें सोचना और समझना बहुत difficult होता है, और उसके लिए additional funds लगते हैं research के लिए. तो आप research organizers को दो additional funds, फिर उनकी research पढ़ो, and then you analyze it, basis which you make a campaign. So it's really difficult. At least that's what my take is. And this is purely because I shifted base to understand this.
Well, that was a very insightful, session on entrepreneurship and PR. But my last question is on the idea of how luck plays a very important role in success. To both of you, how far will luck get you?
If I can take that first, because Asavri has already spoken a bit about the spiritual lens that she's put into, the way things are functioning. Shubham, I think you can attract luck also. Luck is something that doesn't happen innately. अब आप सुबह चद्दर ओढ़ के सोते रहोगे 12 बजे तक और सोचोगे कि भगवान लकी हो जाऊं मैं और आज पता नहीं बारिश हो जाए पैसों की, ऐसा तो नहीं होगा लाइफ में. But yeah, definitely luck is something that favors the brave. 100%. If you are somebody who attracts that kind of energy, if you are somebody who's very, very sorted in your head and wants it. So, and I'm getting a little filmy here and bringing in dialogues that, genuinely universe works towards bringing to you what you really want in life. So if you're set on something, if you're clear about it, if you write it down, if you do these affirmations, law of attraction is definitely something that, and this is very, very, very personal. This is not something that can be generalized or that can generally be, applied. कि अच्छा सुन लिया, पढ़ लिया, कहीं से बोल दिया, 2 दिन try करा, तीसरे दिन हो गया. Consistency, belief, working towards it, putting your mind, heart, soul into it. If you do all of that, definitely luck plays a huge, huge role. And somewhere that positive thinking that, jo hota hai achhe ke liye hota hai, acha ye workout nahi hota, I'm sure there's something that God has better plans for. So for me, that's clearly something that I very, very strongly believe in.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. And just adding on to what I said earlier, I think when you start writing ना, कोई भी चीज अगर आप लिखते हो ना, ये चीज I think मेरे नाना जी ने बोली थी कि बच्चे आप जब कलम को पकड़ के लिखोगे ना कोई चीज, और जो आप करना चाहते हो, और उस चीज को जब आप लिख लेते हो, तो वो आपके ब्रेन में इम्प्रिंट हो जाती है. रिमेम्बर व्हेन वी वर किड्स, हम लोगों को बोला जाता था कि
एग्जाम में कि एक बार हाथ से निकल गया तो फिर गलती नहीं हो सकती.
एग्जैक्टली. तो वही चीज अगर हम इस चीज में अप्लाई करते हैं ना, it really makes sense. And उसके ऊपर से on top of that, अगर आप सुबह उठ के अगर सिर्फ 5 minutes निकालो ना अपने दिन को प्लान करने के लिए, बहुत, it's so easy. And it's so easy to even practice gratitude then, because you will realize that you just have so many things to be happy about and not to sulk. It's very easy to sulk and be depressed and anxious, but it's a process to, embrace gratitude and things like that.
थैंक यू। उद्यमी वह व्यक्ति होता है जो अपना खुद का उद्योग स्थापित करता है, वो जोखिम उठाता है और उसमें से प्रॉफिट लेता है। और उद्यमी बहुत ही साहसी व्यक्ति होता है क्योंकि वह समाज के विकास में भागीदार होता है। एक उद्यमी ही अपने उद्योग को बढ़ाने के लिए अन्य व्यक्तियों को रोजगार भी देता है, जिससे समाज में व्याप्त बेरोजगारी की समस्या को भी कुछ हद तक निजात मिलती है। तो हम कह सकते हैं कि उद्यमी वह व्यक्ति है जो दूसरे व्यक्तियों को भी अपने साथ लेकर चलता है, विच इज एसेंशियली पीआर, और अपने हित के साथ दूसरे के हित का भी ध्यान रखता है। और हर व्यवसायी उद्यमी नहीं होता, बल्कि हर व्यक्ति उद्यमी होता है, और जो व्यवसाय के प्रति नियम को भली भांति पालन करता है और अपने बिजनेस की ग्रोथ को दिन प्रतिदिन बढ़ाता है। I would now like to invite Sarvesh Tiwari ji to kindly express his views as an expert. So please.
Thank you so much, Shubham, and thank you two beautiful minds who were there before me.
Thank you.
They spoke so well, and a lot of learning from both of you. I thank you personally for that. Garima spoke especially about when it was asked that what will be the ROI for PR in startups, and she beautifully explained that the ROI is the mix of time and investment, even by the top management also. जो चीजें दिखती नहीं है वो चीजें भी होती हैं। और PR का जो रोल है, गरिमा ने बहुत अच्छे से कुछ चीजें बताई जिसको मैं रिलेट कर पा रहा था। जल्दी उठने से बहुत समय मिलता है, बहुत वक्त मिलता है आपको काम करने का, और आप बहुत कुछ प्लान कर सकते हैं। सो आई एम अर्ली राइजर। मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लग रहा था कि मेरे टाइप के भी लोग PR इंडस्ट्री में हैं। अदरवाइज it is hard to find such people who in this industry, especially marketing and PR, early risers are hard to find. ऑफिस की मजबूरियों की वजह से बहुत लोग उठते हैं, वो अलग बात है। साथ ही साथ स्पेशली गरिमा ने कुछ अर्न मीडिया के बारे में जो जिक्र की और क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट के बारे में जो जिक्र किया, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ब्रांड को बनाने में जितना समय लगता है, बिखरने में बहुत कम समय लगता है। ताश के पत्तों की तरह बिखर जाता है अगर उसकी क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट प्रॉपर्ली नहीं की जाए तो। और मार्केटिंग कभी क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट नहीं कर पाता। अगर क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट करना होता है तो वो PR ही करता है या पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप करता है। सो बहुत सारी चीजें समझने को, कुछ ग्लोबल जाने की भी बात हुई। मैं अपनी कंपनी को जब 4 देशों में लेके गया था, रादर मैं 6 देशों में लेके गया था, बट 2 देशों में मेरे ऑफिसेस बंद करने पड़े। Again, which Ashavari spoke about, expanding is not easy, going global is not easy, there are so many challenges. और लोकल का भी बहुत, आजकल प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत लोकल पे वोकल की बात काफी शुरू की है। सो यस, लोकल का इम्पैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा है। हम बहुत सारी न्यूएंसेस को समझते नहीं हैं, पर जब हम जाते हैं तो पता चलता है। एक कहावत है कि जब जान लोगे तो मान लोगे। हम बड़े बड़े शहरों में बैठ के भी बहुत सारी चीजें कागज में बना लेते हैं और पढ़ के भी सोचते हैं हमने जान लिया है। मैं गाँव को बहुत नजदीक से जानता हूँ, और जब मैं जाता हूँ तो मुझे पता चलता है कि नहीं, बहुत कुछ हम जिस तरीके से जानते थे वो तरीका अलग था। PR की इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ PR और एंटरप्रेन्योर दोनों मैं इसलिए रिलेट कर पाता हूँ कि मैंने सरकारी नौकरी भी की PR में, प्राइवेट नौकरी भी की PR में, और फिर अपनी कंपनी बनाई PR में, और साथ साथ मैंने 3 और बिजनेसेस शुरू किए। तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को भी मैं रिलेट कर पाता हूँ। एंटरप्रेन्योर जब अपना एंटरप्राइज सेट करता है तो उसके चैलेंजेस, जैसा कि आशावरी ने कहा कि भैया बड़े सारे डिपार्टमेंट होते हैं, लीगल भी होता है, अकाउंट्स भी होता है। अब कहाँ से एक दिन में ये सारी चीजें आप ले आओ, और आपको सबकी समझ नहीं हो सकती है। मैं ग्रेजुएशन में फेल हुआ विद्यार्थी हूँ, और पर साथ में पर मैंने ये चीज जाना है कि अगर आप लोगों के साथ रिश्ते अच्छे बनाते हो और अपने दिमाग का प्रयोग सही समय पे सही तरीके से करते हो, तो आप कुछ भी कर सकते हो दुनिया में। मैं आज जो भी कमा पाता हूँ, आज मैंने एक छोटी सी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुरू की थी ऑलमोस्ट 8-9 साल पहले, एक रूम से जिसमें कि अकेला बैठता था जनकपुरी में, और आज 100 लोग काम करते हैं। और रिसेंटली सिंगापुर कंपनी हैज रीच्ड आउट टू अस और 50 करोड़ तक की वैल्यूएशन करके वो हमारी कंपनी को लेना चाहते थे। तो होता क्या है कि, और मैं तो अंग्रेजी में भी कमजोर हूँ, पर मुझे पता था कि पीआर जब करते हैं हम तो किस तरीके से करना है, खुद के लिए भी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए भी। और हर एंटरप्रेन्योर को ये समझना चाहिए कि पीआर की वैल्यू कितनी ज्यादा है। आप ब्रांड बिना पीआर के नहीं बन सकते हो, और पीआर का इम्पैक्ट इतना ज्यादा होता है। मैं कुछ कहानियां बहुत जल्दी जल्दी बताऊंगा बिकॉज मुझे पता है कि समय का अभाव है। आप लोग ये जानते होंगे, जब पहली बार सिगरेट अमेरिका में शुरू हुआ तो लड़कियां सिगरेट नहीं पीती थी, और वर्ल्ड वॉर के समय स्पेशली सिगरेट बहुत पिया जाने लगा। एक कंपनी होती थी यूएस की, वो बहुत पीआर के प्रति सेंसिटिव थी, और उसने एक बहुत उस समय के पीआर के बड़े नाम एडी बर्नी को हायर किया, और $25,000, हम कह रहे थे कि कॉस्टली है पीआर की नहीं है, तो $25,000 दिया, और उसने बोला कि मेरे सेल को अगर तुम दोगुना कर दो तो 25 और दूंगा। एडी बर्नी ने क्या किया कि सिगरेट को लड़कियों के बीच पॉपुलर करना शुरू किया, और इसको टॉर्चेस ऑफ फ्रीडम कह के इसको बताना शुरू किया। न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स ने 1 अप्रैल 1929 को एक आर्टिकल लिखा, और बर्नी ने बड़े स्मार्टली 10 लड़कियों को एक जगह खड़ा किया और 10 को सिगरेट दिया, और उसने उस आर्टिकल में लिखा हुआ था कि ग्रुप ऑफ गर्ल्स पफ सिगरेट्स पफिंग सिगरेट इज अ जेस्चर ऑफ फ्रीडम। ये हेडलाइंस था न्यूयॉर्क टाइम का। और उसके बाद 1929 में सिगरेट की डिमांड डबल हो गई, बिकॉज आधी आबादी भी सिगरेट के ऊपर चली गई। तो एक पीआर के एक छोटे से इनिशिएटिव का इम्पैक्ट इतना बड़ा हो सकता है बिजनेस को लेके, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को लेके, कि इट कैन नॉट बी कैलकुलेटेड। मतलब एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ है कि दोगुना हो गया एक साल में। कुछ ऐसी ही कहानियां हैं, जब हम भी, अभी बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो जुड़े हुए हैं इसके साथ, जैसा कि शुभम ने बताया, मैं उनको जरूर कहूंगा कि बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि सामने वाले को हम देखते हैं कि बड़ी गाड़ी में आ रहा है, बहुत सूट वूट पहना हुआ है, बट बच्चों बहुत आसान नहीं है एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना। और साथ ही साथ एक रियलिटी है लाइफ की कि भारत, अब एक सर्वे हुआ था, डेटा है, प्रॉपर डेटा है, कुछ ऑक्सफोर्ड करके कुछ है, मैं नाम भूल रहा हूँ, तो उन्होंने सर्वे किया था कि इंडिया के कितने स्टार्टअप्स एक्चुअली ग्रो करते हैं। उस डेटा में आया कि 90% ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स पैक्स देयर बैग विद इन 5 years। 90% भारत के स्टार्टअप 5 साल के भीतर अपना बोरिया बिस्तर बंद कर देते हैं। और फर्दर उसकी डिटेलिंग ये थी कि उसमें से 80% के पास पीआर की समझ नहीं थी, या पीआर उन्होंने नहीं किया। जब हम पब्लिक रिलेशन की बात करते हैं तो खास तौर पे हमें ये, हमारा सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है कि हमारा जो सामने वाला होता है, यानी मैनेजमेंट जो होती है, चाहे एंटरप्रेन्योर जो होता है, उसको पीआर की समझ होनी चाहिए। अगर उसको पीआर की समझ नहीं है तो आप कभी भी सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकते। तो आपका पहला काम है कि या तो उनको अपने जूते में ले आओ, या अपने जूता उनको पहना दो, कोई किसी भी तरीके से, या उनके जूते में आप खुद घुस जाओ। अदरवाइज आप सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकते हो। आप कोशिश कर सकते हो, तमाम कोशिशों के बावजूद आपको नेगेटिव फीडबैक महीने के एंड में मिलेगा। यस, कस्टमर इज अ किंग। दोनों ने कहा कि कस्टमर हमेशा सही होता है कि गलत होता है, बट मेरा ये मानना है कि कस्टमर अगर कंप्लेन करता है तो उसको गिफ्ट की तरह लेना चाहिए। बिकॉज जब आप, कस्टमर कंप्लेन कौन करता है? हमें जो जानते हैं वो कंप्लेन करते हैं, जो नहीं जानता वो कंप्लेन नहीं करता है। और जहां कंप्लेन होता है वहां सुधार की गुंजाइश जरूर होती है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि पहला अटेम्प्ट बहुत बड़ा होना चाहिए कि उस कस्टमर को हम बहुत अच्छे से समझा पाए और अपना बना पाए, बिकॉज वो अपना बनने को तैयार होता है, वही कंप्लेन करता है। ऐसा मेरा मानना है, मैं गलत हो सकता हूँ। बहुत बार क्या होता है कि कंप्लेन प्लान्ड होती है। आजकल डिजिटल मीडिया, with no offense because I also run a digital media company, मेरे पास उसका भी एक लेग है। सो डिजिटल मीडिया का बहुत सारा उपयोग अपने बेनिफिट या अपने क्लाइंट के बेनिफिट से ज्यादा, अब जैसा कि अजावरी ने बोला कि पॉलिटिशियंस का भी देखते हैं हम और डिजिटल मीडिया करते हैं, तो वो ज्यादा अच्छे से समझ सकती है इस बात को कि हम अपने से ज्यादा, अपने फायदे से ज्यादा दूसरों के नुकसान करने के लिए हम डिजिटल मीडिया का बहुत बार प्रयोग करने लगते हैं। ठीक उसी तरीके से कंप्लेंट्स भी बहुत बार ऐसे आती हैं जिससे कि जो प्लान्ड होती है, वहां पे आपका रवैया और आपका रुख दोनों अलग होना चाहिए। नियत के हिसाब से नीति तय की जाती है और हम लोगों को हमेशा ये सोचना चाहिए कि हमारे को उसी हिसाब से प्लान करना चाहिए। मैं एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए कुछ चीजें और पीआर को रिलेट करते हुए खास तौर पे जो चैलेंजेस है वो जरूर बताना चाहूंगा। आधी से ज्यादा दुनिया जो जो एडवर्टाइजिंग समझती है या मार्केटिंग समझती है, उनको ये जरूर कन्विंस करना पड़ेगा कि हम सामान बेचने वाले लोग नहीं हैं, हम आपका वजूद बनाने वाले लोग हैं। हम जड़ से मजबूत करते हैं आपको। आज टाटा, महिंद्रा, गोदरेज नमक भी बेच लेते हैं और गाड़ी भी बेच लेते हैं, और कल को कोई और सामान लेके आएंगे, आप सिर्फ ब्रांड नेम लगा हो। जब रियल स्टेट पूरी तरीके से धाराशायी हो रहा था तो 3 ब्रांड्स रोज बिकते थे और वो तीनों ब्रांड टाटा, गोदरेज और ऐसे ब्रांड थे। सो इम्पैक्ट क्या होता है, एक तो लॉन्ग टर्म बेनिफिट होता है, पर जैसा गरिमा ने कहा कि उनके पास समय नहीं होता। स्टार्टअप्स तो चाहते हैं खट से रिजल्ट आए, पर खट से रिजल्ट वाले में भी हमारे को ये चीज सामने वाले को कन्विंस करना पड़ता है कि आप रिजल्ट को कैसे देखते हो। ये भी रिजल्ट का पैमाना क्या है। रिजल्ट का पैमाना अगर सिर्फ इतना है कि सामान बिक जाए तो आप हमारे को रखो ही मत, आप फिर मार्केटिंग और एडवर्टाइजिंग से काम चलाओ। हम नमस्ते करते हैं, हमारे जैसे लोगों से का काम दूसरा होता है। और साथ ही साथ एक चीज मैं बहुत स्ट्रांगली, जो लास्ट में गरिमा ने जिक्र किया था खास तौर पे, कि हम आज बैठे हैं, आशावरी आज बैठी हैं, तो हम अपनी भी ब्रांडिंग कर रहे हैं कहीं ना कहीं। ये मैं जब दिल्ली मेट्रो में था, मुझे आज भी याद है कि एक बुजुर्ग आदमी आए, ही वॉज अ रिटायर्ड पर्सन एंड ही डिड अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क इन द इंडस्ट्री। उन्होंने बहुत कुछ दिया था भारत को, पर शायद उतना लोग नहीं जानते थे जितना उनको जानना चाहिए था। और जब दिल्ली मेट्रो में जब एक पीआर स्ट्रेटेजी बनी हम मेरे गुरु अनुज दयाल जी के मार्गदर्शन में, एंड आई वाज वन ऑफ द टीममेट देन, तो आप बिलीव करो वो आदमी भारत का सबसे रिस्पेक्टेड आदमी हो गया और उनको आज डॉक्टर ई श्रीधरन मेट्रो मैन ऑफ द कंट्री के नाम से जाना जाता है।
बिल्कुल।
So, आप जब अपनी ब्रांडिंग, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हेड की ब्रांडिंग आप उस तरीके से करते हो तो उसका फायदा अल्टीमेटली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को मिलता है। आज मेरी पीआर एजेंसी की जो टर्नओवर है उसके 5 गुना ज्यादा मुझे ऑफर मिल रहे हैं, क्योंकि मैंने ब्रांड वैल्यू बनाया, अपना भी ब्रांड वैल्यू बनाया। तो उनका कहना है कि अगर जो आदमी इसको लीड कर रहा है, कल को अगर वो हमारे साथ ही काम करे और हमारा सीईओ बन जाए और मैं कंपनी हम टेक ओवर कर लें, बट ही एज अ सीईओ विल बी गिविंग हिम रेन्यूमरेशन, but he is the person who is going to take it very forward, बहुत ऊपर तक लेके जा सकता है। और ये बहुत बड़ा फायदा होता है ब्रांडिंग का। आई थिंक आई हैव टेकन अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम, बहुत कुछ है बात करने को, पर एक छोटी सी चीज लास्ट में मैं जरूर कहूंगा, चूंकि वुमेन्स डे है और आप सब लोगों को वुमेन्स डे की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। और हम सब का वजूद एक नारी की वजह से है। मैं चूंकि निर्भया ट्रस्ट से जुड़ा हूँ और निर्भया की लड़ाई में बहुत जो हो पाया वो किया, और जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बिल में भी को एक्ट तक ले जाने में बहुत बड़ा रोल हम लोगों का था, बहुत सारे लोग साथ में थे। तो मैं आज इस दिन को स्पेशली मैं बहुत वैल्यू देता हूँ, बहुत रिस्पेक्ट देता हूँ, और हम सबको समझना चाहिए कि लड़कियों की क्या जरूरत होती है। अगर आपके यहाँ भी काम करते हैं या आप उनके साथ, जो इमोशनल क्वेश्चन उनका बहुत हाई होता है, उसको आप कैसे आपके भी इमोशनल क्वेश्चंस को बहुत हाई रख के और उनको कैसे तरीके से साथ लेके चलना है, ये मेरी आखिरी बात होगी। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, sir. The chat room is already buzzing with wonderful comments and thoughts from our audiences. We'll just take one question. If anybody of you could answer, the speakers or the expert, the question is, could you avail benefits of any schemes offered by the government for women entrepreneurs? Yes or no? If yes, then which scheme?
So I do know that there are multiple schemes like these available, and not just for women, but also for young entrepreneurs. So it's very easy for a person to avail them, but yes, there is a process for you to be selected or be, how do I say it? It's basically you.
Eligibility, I'm sure there is an
Yeah, there's
eligibility.
an eligibility. So you need to have a certain industry. There are times when they have an industry specific scheme. There are times when they have an age specific scheme for you. So yeah, that's available.
Shubham, I think you're talking on mute.
That was a very wonderful session. I would now, without wasting any further time, like to request my colleague Akshat Chopra to deliver the vote of thanks. Akshat, please.
Thank you, Shubham. One interesting fact that actually materialized today's session was that there has been proliferation in the number of women practicing public relations. And this field is nearly 2/3 female. While there can be actually a myriad number of reasons ascertain to this idea, we have definitely gained a lot today in the company of the two prolific communication leaders we had. And I'm sure we have to ponder upon the ideas shared today in this series. We also acknowledge the support of the Statesman and the Sakal Odia newspaper for their support. For this series, which is being conducted by PR Society Delhi, whose registered name is Public Relations Society of India Delhi chapter, I'm thankful to the governing body members for their support and would like to thank Shri Naresh Kumar, Chairman, who has been our strong leader, ensuring regular events. Our very lovable Secretary, Shri S.S. Raoji. He has been a guiding force, and our adorable and Joint Secretary, Shri Sarvesh Tiwari ji, who consented to give his expert remarks today. And I'm sure there is a lot we can learn from his wide experience. Our Treasurer, Shri J.P. Sharma ji, my fellow Tanvi Singhal, and moderator for today, Shubham Saurav Singh. I'm also thankful to the communication veterans of the governing body, Shri J.P. Dhondial ji, who is always an inspiration for us. Our program director, Shri G.S. Babaji, Shri K.N. Dhawan ji, Shri Rajat Gupta ji, and Shri Jitendra Bakshi ji. Before we close, I would like to extend my thanks to each one of you for participating in this program and would request you to be part of another volume of Gen Next Ideas Exchange series, which will happen at the same time on the same platform with new speakers and new topics.
Akshat,
Thinking hats, and Baba Sahab needs to speak something. Yes.
I just wanted that there should be a takeaway for everybody who's attending and for the prosperity. If both the speakers, they touched the topic very well, and Sarvesh Tiwari ji really gave the practical experience. The question which was that what are the benefits or help available to the young entrepreneurs? You rightly said there are some eligibility, etc. But over a period of time, if we can list them, document them, and we share with our members, that will be a real help to the person who are really looking for it. And I think if we can do that, will be great of both of the speakers. Thank you.
Sure, we'll do that.
I'm sure this association of ours will go long, and we'll keep connecting again in future with these speakers. And thank you everyone for sparing your time today and being part of this session. And thank you everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
all.
everybody. It was wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashwi. Thank you, Garima.
Thank you,
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Great
Sarvesh
connecting
Tiwari
with
ji.
the
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you
See
for
you
wonderful
soon.
session. Very good.
Amazing,
Excellent.
amazing to hear Sarvesh Tiwari ji. Amazing to hear everyone. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Hey,
you.
I think Babaji's suggestion is also good. That documentation of that can be helpful to the youngsters.
Yes, right. Thank you.
That is very good, because see, whatever is coming out the sessions, I think every session is documented and shared. That gives a lot of information for the future and present people also.
Yes.
very
Very
Thank you.
good. Good.
Thank you very
Baba
much.
sir, how are you?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.